So Dr. Bazzan, we got to talk about bioidentical hormones. Can you tell us, the answer to what is one of the million-dollar questions when it comes to bioidentical hormones in women? Do hormones decrease biological age? What's your opinion?
So in 1904, two doctors in London were having lunch. One was Ernest Starling, the one of the law of the heart. If anybody has gone to medical school, we understand the size of the giant that we're talking about. And they were talking about how they found this stuff, this chemical stuff in the animals that they were working on that created all these other reactions in different organs. And actually what they were talking about was the first hormone ever found that was called secretin. And they were working with the gut, and they realized that when we're doing that, then the pancreas was sending out stuff, and this is what it was called secretin. So they're there and eating and discussing, and I don't know now if it's Oxford or Cambridge or whatever. And they said, what are we going to call this? And then they hear like a polite in the back that goes, hello? So they turn around, and this is their friend who was a professor of Greek. And he says, call it hormone. And he says, what does that mean? He says, hormone from Greek means to stir things up, set things in motion, make things happen. And that was, in the year after that, in 1905, for the first time in the history of the English language, the word hormone appeared in the medical textbooks. So what's a hormone then? It's something that makes things happen. Now, take a girl who's 9 or 10, and she has a girl body. And then boom, the ovaries wake up, and what do you get very quickly? You got a woman, which, looks fairly different than a girl. So on you go, and eventually the ovaries retire. You call that menopause. And now the woman enters another period of her life in which things are not expanding anymore. Now they're kind of contracting. And people get older, the bone mass gets, as we all know, in terms of osteopenia, osteoporosis, the skin gets older, there's dryness in the organs. So when you look at all this, and then you have a woman that comes to you, and she's, say, in the middle 50s or late 50s, and she's got some of the symptoms. Maybe a little bit of osteopenia, some bone mass is being lost, definitely some sarcopenia. I hear that all the time. I'm working out, and I'm not getting my muscles back anymore. The skin is getting the terrible word called crepey, right? And we know what that is about for women. And you put her on bioidentical hormones, and the bone mass starts coming back. And the muscle mass starts coming back, and the skin looks much better. So then I ask the world the same question that you asked me. When this woman that came in older, that say that their biological age, their chronological age, and now she turns effectively, measurably younger, like in a couple of years later, you do a bone density scan, and now she's gained bone mass again that she didn't have before. You do the impedance analysis of her body, and now she started looking more like what she was in her 30s because there's more muscle mass and more bone mass than there was fat mass 2 years ago. So then here's my question. Can that be called rejuvenation? And this is an international fight. Because according to the official bodies of the Menopausal Society and on we go, the answer is no. But if you look into the literature and you talk to different type of physicians, the answer is yes. Personally, I believe that these biological indicators like the bone mineral density coming back in a person are clear evidence that you can call it rejuvenation, call it regaining, call it whatever you want, you will now have a similar body situation to when the person was younger.
Well, I really appreciate that, Dr. Bazzan. I think you're spot on in terms of some of these changes in biological age that we see every day with our patients that we treat with bioidentical hormones, in terms of their skin elasticity, in terms of their bone density, in terms of their muscle mass. Those are just three of many indicators that we track. So maybe we could
men.
Oh, go ahead, Dr. Monti. What's that?
I was just going to throw out there, in women and men.
There we go. See, I needed you to do that.